Hi everyone, and welcome to the New Moon in Aquarius spread. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi everyone and welcome. I am doing a new moon spread for each sign. If you'd like to skip this little intro, you can actually just go right down below, click on the link and the timestamped link in the description box to get a message for your sign. You can take a look at your sun, moon, or rising sign, or any sign that you feel very connected to in your chart. Now, I'm doing this new moon reading because this is a very potent new moon. It occurs on the 21st of January, so depending on when you're watching this may be before or during or after. But it's what I like to look at it as is a fresh start moon. It does line up with the Lunar New Year, so it's kind of an interesting portal, as I'm describing it, into the new version of ourselves that's kind of being asked to come out and be called forth. Now, Aquarius as a sign is a sign actually of service. It's an interesting sign because it really harnesses the understanding and the power of the individual and how important it is to express that and live that into life. But it also brings it back to understanding how we then can bring that uniqueness to be of service to others, to the greater collective experience. The sign for Aquarius is the water bearer. So it is literally kind of bringing the cup of our connection to spirit, to everything, to love, and bringing it to the collective. So it's a beautiful energy. Which is why I'm choosing to do a spread and why I'm choosing to do a spread for each sign. I think we really do each need a little piece of advice as to really what we're going to be stepping into in the coming a few months here, and actually into kind of the coming year, which is beautiful. It's really starting off, in January, the 2023 year. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in, and we are going to start with Aquarius, actually, since this is your new moon, Aquarians. All right, so I'm going to pull 3 cards. We're going to be taking a look and perfect. We have the 3 cards here. So we're looking at what you're being asked to release, what you're being asked to embrace, and then the theme for the year. Now, Aquarius, my goodness, very impressive here. We have the Tower, we have Judgment, and actually I'm going to look at what's at the bottom here as well. And then we have the 7 of Swords. Yes, we have the Tower, Judgment, and Justice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some clarifiers as we go along here. But first, we're going to just get into the energy of the Tower. So what you're being asked to release. The Tower is the energy where we are clinging to that safe and secure place. We know something needs to change, but we just don't want to. We don't want to make the change. We don't want to release. This is where we don't want to make the move we know we need to. We don't want to, change jobs when we know it's time. We don't want to leave or start that new relationship. So for many of you, this is going to be that kind of breakthrough time of having to let go of something that you have long held onto because of a sense of security, or that now you've just simply outgrown. So really kind of just be prepared to just let it fall away. Now, what you're being asked to embrace, I can see why the Tower is coming in, because Judgment is here. And Judgment is when you're being called up as a new version of yourself. You are literally allowing a part of yourself to be released and a new, stronger, brighter version is coming through. Now, these are 2 powerful cards of change. I mean, this is like change on every level. This is change on your just who you are as yourself. And this is change in your whole experience. Again, this is something that is going to be kind of outwardly changed. Again, a job, a relationship, a living circumstance, something along those lines. Now, with Justice coming in, this is your overall theme for 2023, what you're going to be working with. This is the energy of divine balance. This is the scales of fairness and, equality, which I love coming in here. And there's an element of, I think, that we can sometimes have this fear that when we have to lose something or give up something or change something, that we might not get the balance might be off, meaning if we leave a job, we might never make that much money again. We might lose out in some way. Or if we have to walk away from a relationship, we might never find a relationship as good, as equal. And what we have to remember is that often it's when something is out of balance that the Tower comes in to make the change so that the scales can be rebalanced, meaning that job, that relationship, that living situation that you're clinging to is actually something where there's something better waiting to come in, and there is an imbalance there in the scales. So keep that in mind. Look at it from that positive perspective of actually, where am I been holding myself back, and I actually need more of something to balance these scales out, and Spirit is trying to bring that forward for myself. Now we have the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and this is a card of avoidance. It's a card of, I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to see it. It can be a lot of self-deception. So, kind of just take a look at that in your experience, especially coming forward. What comes up during this period of the new moon for you? What are you trying to avoid? This can be where we know we're not happy at work and haven't been for a long time, or we know we've outgrown the situation. This can be where we've been in a position for a long time with no forward movement now in sight. And that can be where all of a sudden, whenever we get to a point of stagnation and limitation, this is when Spirit comes into the Tower to say, you've outgrown that shell. And it's time to really realize now the new place, the new forward progression, the new spiritual growth you're ready to step into. Now I'm going to pull just a few clarifiers. I'm going to pull some for the Tower here. So let's see if we can just quickly get a little message for Aquarius with the Tower. Any messages for the Tower? And I think I'm just going to go ahead here and clarify just the Tower, because this is the biggest part of change for you guys. Let's see, something popped over there. Oh, I love it. 10 of Cups. What a beautiful energy. Yeah, you're really heading into something that is going to be so emotionally fulfilling. And I think that whatever you're clinging to at this point is kind of preventing you from really stepping into the abundance that is waiting to come in. This is truly the happy family card. This is the loving relationship. This is the life experience that on every level is ultimately fulfilling. And that's way too many cards. I'm just going to see if anything else wants to come out. If not, we'll move on, and I will say have a wonderful new moon. But I just want to see if there's one more card wants to come out. Yeah, there's a little bit of chaos around that. So I think for some of you that it's growing pains. There's growing pains around some aspect, and I love that the Queen of Pentacles is at the bottom there. Beautiful. Very nurturing energy, nourishing energy. But with the Five of Wands, there's a little bit of this like, oh my gosh, it's going to feel a little chaotic. There's going to be a lot of kind of movement and people coming in and things changing, because 5 is the number of change. Then it might be a change. This can really denote for many of you a change in a home environment, that it's time to level up. It's time to move into the bigger house. It's time to embrace the family and maybe look at moving to a new location. This could even be any kind of change that really speaks to the home, the family, or that feeling of, wow, I have so much abundance. I just want to share it with others and all the people that in my life that I love. So it will feel a little chaotic. It will feel a little bumpy here. But if you can get past that, what's coming in is going to be supportive with justice coming in. It's going to be supportive of kind of the growing pains. And it's going to be directly tied to really supporting this energy, the 10 of Cups. Lovely. All right. I will leave it there, Aquarius. Have a wonderful new moon and a very happy 2023 as we move into the Lunar New Year. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to reshuffle the cards. And since we just did Aquarius, I will jump into Pisces and we'll just move forward on the zodiac wheel here. So Pisces, let's go ahead and pull a reading. Now I'm pulling a 3-card reading. The first card is going to be what you're being asked to release during this new moon. what you're going to be. The second card here is what you're being asked to embrace. And then we'll take a look at the theme, the major theme for 2023 for you. What does Pisces need to know? Oh, I love it. This is actually a card that harnesses your energy, Pisces. Or actually, I'm sorry. This is the Page of Cups, but it still does bring in your energy. Ooh, and we have Ace of Wands. So this is an underlying energy here. Okay, so I'm going to go intuitively into the cards first, and then we'll pull a clarifier or two for anything that needs to come out. So you have all pages. You have 3 pages here, which is wonderful. We have the Page of Wands, we have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Cups. You're really being asked here to embrace a kind of childlike curiosity in 2023 around quite a bit here. So we have Page of Wands. This is what you're being asked to release. The Page of Wands is where we have been kind of going around and just playing with our passions. We've been enjoying the fun of connecting to the feeling of what we are passionate about. And it may seem like, well, why do I have to, why do I have to release that? Because what you're being asked to embrace now is a more analytical approach to your experience. We have the Page of Swords. This is an energy that speaks to getting curious in the mental space, you can see this individual is, reading a book, and it looks like she's really losing herself but in a good way, in gaining more knowledge, really gaining context. It can speak to actually gaining context on your own personal truth. Where do I fit? Now that I've gone out and I've reconnected with what I'm passionate about, this can actually be kind of like maybe last year you were really trying to figure out, what do I love to do? I've just been kind of playing with things and trying stuff out. Now this is saying, okay, I've kind of reignited the spark, because that's what the Ace of Wands says right here. This is the fire. You've relit your internal flame, which is wonderful. But now it's time to say, okay, bringing that into, well, where does this fit? How can I use my flame to possibly light the flame of others? Or what can I do to actually kind of solidify now, maybe focusing on one passion? And with the Page of Cups, this is the overall theme for 2023 for you. The Page of Cups is one of my favorite energies because it's getting back in touch with our inner child. It's getting back to that place where we are kind of in awe and wonder at just the love we have for ourselves, the love for who we get to share that with, the connection to the divine, but also we get back to that kind of pure essence of what's in our cup, the needs, the hopes, the dreams. And this is getting to it from the place of, oh my gosh, I remember when I used to daydream about this. I remember when I used to love doing this. And you get to share that with others, not even just yourself. But I also love the depiction in this, or the image on this card in this deck. It's like the when pigs fly kind of mentality. And I think for many of you, that's what you're being asked to embrace. This is the energy of the dreamer. This is the energy of anything's possible, but also if anything is possible, then what is possible for me? What is my dream? You've had a lot, Pisces, in a lot of the readings I've done recently for you around getting into that place of the dreamer. And I don't know why, but the character or the image of Walt Disney keeps coming in every time I read for the Piscean energy. So there's something here around kind of getting into that fantastical, dreaming, getting back to the place of, again, getting back in touch with your inner child, the child that wants to go to Disneyland and experience everything there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull for the Page of Wands. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers. Then I'm going to pull for the Page of Swords as well, because I think these two cards are very important. We're going to see what you're releasing. Why are you kind of releasing this energy of just playing around with your passions? What is this tied to specifically? Okay, yeah. The Six of Swords. It's because you've moved on from something. I think maybe you were going through this period because maybe you had gone through a difficult time before that, or again, it just lost connection to your passion because of what you were going through. And this could even, obviously coming through the past, 2-3 years, it's been difficult for all of us, but you have now been able to move on from something. The Six of Swords is being able to move from kind of choppy waters to it's smooth sailing from here. So you really transcended, I think, something that was limiting you in your experience, and it's lovely. It means, okay, you've got that spark lit again, and you've been able to kind of get past the rough point. So now we have the Page of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles, and this is for the Page of Swords, which I love. So here's the Page of Wands coming in again. So this is saying, okay, now that you've reignited this spark and you've gone out and kind of played with what you're passionate about and getting back in touch with your internal eternal flame, where can you start to put in the hard work in the physical to perfect utilizing that? So this is saying, this is kind of what you're going to be fact finding for this whole year is, okay, here's my wand. This is what I'm passionate about. But now how can I bring that into the physical and actually start to build something from that? Because that's what this individual is doing. He's just perfecting. He's hammering out one pentacle after another. So this could be like maybe you rediscovered something that you're passionate about and you're like, okay, if I want to build a side hustle around this, well, how do I need to do that? What do I need to do to keep practicing this? And that's really where this Page of Swords is going to come in, getting more information and figuring out too how this aligns with your truth. Love it. Okay, well, I'm going to leave you there. I hope you have a wonderful new moon, Pisces, and a wonderful lunar new year as well. And I will see you all in future readings, but have a wonderful 2023 ahead. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reshuffle the cards, and we are going to pull for Aries. So Aries, I hope you are all having a wonderful start to the 2023. We're going to take a look here at what is to come. So I'm going to pull 3 cards in this spread. We're going to take a look. The first card will be what you're being asked to release during this new moon. The second will be what you are going to be asked to embrace as you move into 2023. And then we're going to be taking a look at for the final card at the general theme for the 2023 ahead for you guys. So what does Aries need to know about what they need to release? Okay, 6 of Cups. What do they need to know about what they need to embrace? Ooh. Okay. And what does Aries need to know about the general theme? Let's see. Okay, so we have 3 cards. Ooh. Okay, so we have Chariot, the Devil, and the King of Wands. I'm sorry, the Knight of Wands. All right. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. All right, so let me get into this. We'll go over each of the 3 cards and we'll pull any clarifiers if I feel there's a need. So we have 6 of Cups, what you're being asked to release. This is that kind of what I like to call getting back in touch with our kind of going back in time and on an emotional level, reconnecting with our unique inner child, that part of ourself where we kind of almost idealize a moment in our lives of who we were back then. It can also be where we're kind of constantly, like if we're looking at this as a release point, this can be where we're looking back over our shoulder and we are maybe looking too much at something in our past that we have rose-colored glasses on about, and it's hard for us to release our tie to that. It can also be just you may have been sitting with this energy of reconnecting with your inner child, and there may be this point now where it's like, okay, we've had that time to sit, we've had that time to get connected to ourselves again, or we've had that time to really kind of go back to the past and reconnect with that part of ourselves, but it's time to move on now. That's really what the 6 of Cups speaks to, or the 6s in general speak to in the tarot. It's a moment where we get to go back, but now it's time for us to move forward. There's this kind of push of moving on. Now, what you're being asked to embrace is the King of Wands, which is wonderful. This is fiery, passionate energy. This is like the CEO, the dynamo kind of boss figure. And it's time. I think, when I'm looking at the Six of Cups, this is the energy of our emotions. It's the energy of water. When you think of, you're a fire sign, Aries. And sometimes that fire sign, that too much emotion can kind of douse the flames at certain points in your life. And I think that there was a lot of this kind of needing to go home, maybe needing to be with your family, maybe a lot of, again, reconnecting with that sense, that nostalgic sense in your life. But now it's time to move past that and step into your full power. So this is going to be a very potent year for yourself and a very potent energy for this weekend. So really start to embrace that inner lion within you, that inner flame. Now, what the year holds ahead for you, we have the Chariot, the Devil, and the Knight of Wands. The Chariot's a wonderful card. It's actually a card that aligns with the numerical year number and numerology. So the Chariot is the number 7, and we are in a 7 universal year. So this aligns very well. You guys are kind of with the energy of the year, which is forward momentum. And what I love about the Chariot is when we get our head and our heart in alignment, and we realize we're the charioteer in our life, and we kind of whip those horses and get going. And the Chariot, ultimately, the ultimate destination of the Chariot is your ultimate, whatever feels like home. You're riding home to yourself, which is wonderful. But with the Devil and the Knight of Wands, I think for many of you, you're going to realize where you've been holding yourself back from going out there and embracing your passions and taking action from that place of passion. And for some of you, I get a big theme around here because you're being asked to embrace the King of Wands. The King of Wands is very clear as to what his passion is and how to utilize that in a very... The kings are, when you think about it, they're leading their kingdom. So this is the individual who is going to sit there and lead from a responsible place. He knows how to take action from a place of passion, but in a way that is beneficial to all that he comes in contact with, but first and foremost beneficial to himself. So I think for many of you, there's going to be this kind of realization of where you've been holding yourself back from forward movement, or from really, getting a go of it, because you've kind of just been the Knight of Wands. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to try that, and that looks like fun and that looks like fun. There's an element with the Knight of Wands where that individual, yes, they go out and they have fun with what they're passionate about. They go out and do what feels good, but they can also be seen as someone who is not dependable or has been focused too much on trying to find what they like to do. And instead of just saying, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what lights my fire, this is, if I could pick one wand and have it burn, what would that be burned? Like, what would it be? Where would the fuel be to keep that flame burning bright? Now, the underlying energy for this year for you guys is going to be the Queen of Swords. For me, this year, this card is really speaking to what is the story you want to tell about yourself. When you think about your life and if you had to basically write a biography up to this point of who you are, and now moving forward, who you are becoming and who you want to be, what would that be and how would you share it? So I think many of you are kind of reflecting on that, reflecting on what your story has been, definitely going back to that place of nostalgia. But now it's time to say, okay, forward. Look how she's looking forward. She's looking into the distance. She's sitting there and thinking, okay, I'm doing kind of a life review. And now, where am I going to step into my full power? Okay, so I'm going to pull some additional clarifiers here. I'm actually going to pull for the Devil over there because I feel like that is standing out to me as just where you're holding yourself back. That's what the Devil represents. The Empress and the King of Cups. Yeah, for some of you, the Empress coming in there, that is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. It's a card of your creativity. It harnesses the energy of the number 3, which is a number that is highly creative. It's the number of getting back to that place of power where when we co-create with spirit, what can't we give birth to? And the Knight of Cups is the beautiful energy of going out there with rose-colored glasses on and saying, I'm just going to go out there and see what I can create. I'm going to have faith in my ability to create abundance for myself. And I'm going to go out there with, again, this kind of rose-colored glasses to share from this place of emotion. So for many of you, I think maybe you've been holding yourself back in that department. You've been maybe a little hesitant. Maybe you've been hiding a part of yourself that you know is there and can, this can be like where you can, do something specific. I'm trying to think like you're trying to create a business, or you're trying to create an artistic work, or you're trying to create a family. And there's this feeling here, I think, for many of you where there's a little bit of this like lack, this disconnect of, but I don't know if I can do it. It's a little bit of self-doubt. That's what I'm feeling coming through there. A little bit of self-doubt. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with the King of Wands. What you're being asked to embrace. I do love that you're being really asked to embrace your fire. It's almost like I get the feeling you've been a little bit in your emotions for too long, and it's time to get back into your element, Aries. Knight of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, Page of Swords. Yeah, I think for many of you, there's a change in perspective as to what you've been working towards. And with the Page of Swords, this is getting a little bit more information. This is saying, you know what, actually, now that I see how far I've come, Knight of Pentacles is kind of that slow forward progression, step by step. This is the plan. And something has changed your perspective on that, on what you are working towards. And the Page of Swords is saying, okay, I need to get some more information on this, because now something's changed. Something in my life has changed, and it's time for me to get clear as to, okay, where maybe have I been moving towards something that has, again, not allowed me to step into my full power, to step up into this kind of boss energy. So I really like that. I like that you guys are seeing something in your life and possibly seeing again where maybe you've been holding yourself back from this, really getting into the energy of really getting into creative energy. That's, I think, for many of you what this is. When we get the energy of fire and we get the Empress coming in, this is the energy of creation. This is the spark, and this is the individual who's going to give birth to it. So really take a look at that for yourself. So I'm going to leave it there, Aries. I think what I would say for 2023, what I'm seeing here is that this is the year. This is kind of like the year that Stella got her groove back. That's what this is. That's what's going on right here. So yes, you've gone through a process of kind of going back. This is like going back to your parents' home. And it could just be truly on an emotional level, but there's something here about kind of having to, I think, gone through this purge emotionally, and now you're ready to come out as this fiery, let's get it done. Let's get this chariot going. Love it. All right. I wish you all a wonderful 2023 and have a wonderful new moon this weekend as well. Bye, Aries. Okay, so Taurus, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull a 3-card spread here, which we're going to, if I can get the cards, pull a 3-card spread here for the new moon. And we're going to be taking a look at what you're being asked to release, what you're being asked to embrace, and then the general theme for 2023 for you. So let's go ahead and take a look here. What you're being asked to embrace. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, I'm sorry, embrace. This is what you're being asked to release. Very interesting. This came up in a different placement, actually, this combination in Aries reading. Okay, so you're being asked to release the Devil and the Knight of Wands. So you're being asked to release intuitively where you've been holding yourself back from just going out there and doing what feels good. So let's see. What are you being asked to embrace? And for some of you too, this could be with these two coming together where you've kind of been just doing too much of what feels good, like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And because the Knight of Wands can be someone who goes out and just does what they're passionate about, does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because today this is what they love and tomorrow this is what they love. And what can happen is that individual can kind of come across as flighty, as not dependable, because that's the individual you're like, well, so-and-so might sign up to go to the concert with me and they may buy the ticket, but when it gets closer to the date, if something better comes up that they'd rather do, that person might not come. So it's that kind of energy. So I do get the feeling that either A, you're releasing, holding back the part of yourself that goes that just wants to go out and have fun, that kind of just releasing yourself to join the drum circle, just get wild and crazy. Or for some of you, you might have been doing this a little too much, that now it's time to make a decision. Yeah, because this is what you're being asked to embrace. We have the Four of Swords and the Two of Swords. There's a decision here that needs to be made. And the Four of Swords is really sitting there in a place of reflection to take a look at those wounds of the past that just haunt us in the mental space, that hide our own personal truth from ourselves, that hide the actual decision we know needs to be made with the Two of Swords. So this is what you're being asked to embrace this new moon to really help you move forward into 2023. There is a decision here. I do get the feeling, just intuitively now seeing this whole story that yes, it's time to settle down, Taurus, and it's time to make a decision, but not the decision from previous wounds, not the decision that you would make to protect yourself. Instead, the decision where you're liberating your personal truth from those wounds. Because you have Nine of Cups as your main kind of focus for the year, the theme. That is a beautiful theme to have. Nine of Cups is where we have so much to be grateful for on an emotional level. And we have so much but yet there's that one little heart's wish that we want to just throw out to the universe to say, if we could just have that one need met, or that one piece of our dream realized, what that wouldn't lend to my current experience. That's what the Nine of Cups is. And your underlying energy here is the Hermit, which is beautiful. This is a soul-seeking energy. This is getting back in touch with your inner light, that dream that lies within, that then we pull outward to put in our lantern and guide our next step forward. So there's a lot of freedom coming in here. Freedom from indecision, freedom from kind of just feeling like you're pulled here and pulled there and there's really no focus, because that's also what the Knight of Wands can be, like where there's a lack of focus too, because you're kind of just doing what feels good. So there's a decision that you're getting ready to be made, but a decision that is based now around your truth from a healthy perspective, not from a place of wounding. There's going to be a beautiful heart's wish coming through for you guys, so much abundance. And then you're going to be finding your own inner light, reconnecting with the beauty of yourself again, and really being able to let it shine. That's the beauty of the Hermit, is that you find your own light and allow that to shine outward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let's pull some cards here for the Devil and the Knight of Wands to really see what the story is coming through for these two together here. And then we'll pull for that decision you guys are needing. Whoa, it's way too many. I'm sure there's a big, long story in there. Okay. Yeah, so we have the High Priestess, the Chariot, Seven of Cups, and Death. Yeah. Okay, so for many of you, you've been blocking this forward. So the Chariot and the High Priestess, two beautiful, powerful cards coming through. This is... this is being very in touch with your intuition. This is forward momentum, and this is the illusion. This is the fog that has, maybe you've been sitting in for some time, or maybe it's just been recent, but there is an end to this. This is the fog, the illusion of, but I could do that and that might be fulfilling, but I could do this and that might be more, make me happier, or I could do this. And this is saying, no, this whole cycle is done. The illusion is gone because it's time to get into this energy. It's time to get moving on something that you know. And what's interesting is that the High Priestess is the number 2 in the tarot, and it denotes making a decision, making a choice based on basically looking at the universal book of knowledge and getting in touch with that through your intuition. So many of you know, you know in your heart of hearts what this is and what needs to be released, where this illusion now needs to be released, because this is where you've been holding yourself back from making this decision that directly ties to your intuition. The fog of like outwardly wondering if something is going to internally fulfill you is the realization, no, I know in my heart what I need to have fulfilled. What is that missing piece? And it's time for me to make the decision to move towards that. Okay, so let's go ahead now and see about the 4 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. What is this decision that Taurus is sitting in a place of indecision that needs to be made? What is this decision that Taurus needs to make? And that maybe they're too afraid to make it. Because again, those wounds from the past, those thoughts, they cut deep. You know, it's that thought, that the wounding of I'm not good enough, the wounding of last time I did this, I lost a bunch of money. The last time I did this, the person left me. The last time I did this, this happened. And we forget our truth, what we are truly capable of. We forget that that's what we need to live by, what we need to use to be successful, what we need to use to be kind of triumphant when you think about holding your sword. So let's see. Clearly there is an indecision here. Okay, so we have Page of Cups. Yeah, I think for many of you, there's this inner child yearning to share itself. It's like, here's your cup. Remember me? It's not out there. It's in here. So there's a really getting connected to the magic that you uniquely bring. And this may be going back to, part of yourself that you've kind of hidden because of wounding that you've gone through. Oh, an Ace of Cups, beautiful. For many of you, this could actually be where there needs to be a decision made in love, a decision, made around what you love, but specifically just a decision that there is a new start here, a new start in just a loving cycle. But I like how there's the 9 of Cups and here's the 8 of Cups. This is the 10th cup that will take this to the 10 of Cups, which is the happy family, which is the touching a little piece of heaven on earth in an emotional way. And I think for many of you, this decision is around love. It's around leaning into love. It's around sharing yourself vulnerably. So for those of you who are like, I don't know, what is this decision? It's saying, what's that inner child part of yourself kind of screaming to be let out that you've been hiding behind just doing a bunch of stuff outwardly and hoping that one of those things will make you happy? Well, what is the one part of yourself inside that's like, please, this is what I want. This is what I need. And how can you really make the decision from that place, from the internal knowing, and get forward, get moving again? The Chariot's been stuck for a while, and it's ready to be released through your cup, through what is through your magic. Beautiful. Okay, Taurus, I hope this is going to give you something to meditate on throughout this weekend and the new moon. And I wish you all a wonderfully, emotionally abundant year in 2023. All right. Bye, Taurus. All right. Hi, all of my Geminis. We are going to be pulling a 3-card spread here. So we are going to be looking at the first card is going to be the energy of what Spirit is asking you to release. Then we are going to be looking at the second card, which is what Spirit is asking you to embrace as we move into 2023. And then the third card is the overall theme for the year. And then we'll pull any clarifiers if I feel they are needed. So let's go ahead here and see. All right, the World. Well, that's a pretty easy one to have in your release sector there. So the World is kind of that hard and fast stop. That is an end to a major cycle. So Gemini, for some of you, you've gone through a full kind of turn around the sun. That's what the World speaks here. And then we have Six of Swords. I love it. Okay, what you're being asked to embrace. It's time to move on. This card for me is the card of transcendence, because it's where we, in our mental space, we move on from something that we felt was limiting. And suddenly now we free ourselves mentally. And that freedom on a mental plane ends up freeing us in some capacity in our physical experience. It's where we really learn to understand the power of the mind, and how when we overcome limits in our mind, we then overcome those limits physically. All right, and then we have the Four of Swords for the overall theme for the year, and the Devil at the bottom of the deck. And don't be afraid. I can see a very clear pattern here. So a very clear message. Now, the World coming in and what you're being asked to release. Yeah, this is the ending of a major cycle. But it's a point where you get to celebrate, where you get to say, wow, look at how far I've come. Look at all the lessons I've learned. And now I'm ready to have a fresh start. I'm ready to move forward with those lessons. And she's in a place of just kind of happy serenity. So the beauty of this is that when we realize that something has come to an end, when we've kind of gone through this major cycle and now kind of we're closing the door, the Six of Swords comes in and opens the door on a mental space. This is where we then get to embrace, okay, where do we go from here? Because suddenly I'm releasing everything that happened in this past year or this past cycle. So this could be a major cycle for you guys. This could be 10 years or more. So for many of you, really take a look at what it's time to close the door on, and where can you now open yourself up on a mental place to a wealth of possibilities, kind of smooth sailing ahead, but keeping that eye out to the horizon to say, what is out there that I don't even know is possible for me. Now, with the Four of Swords coming in as your overall theme, this is going to be a year of reflection for you, a year where you get to disentangle yourself from those wounding thoughts that trickle down and pierce us in our heart space. It's where we get to say, wow, I need to stop thinking about myself that way, or I need to stop limiting myself in this area of my life, because every time I think I want to go do something, that negative thought comes in of you're not good enough, or that negative thought comes in and says you're not lovable enough, or the negative thought comes in and says, there's no way this is going to happen because it's not meant for me. And what the beauty of the Four of Swords is you get to literally pull your sword of truth that's been hiding, your triumphant sword of truth that's been hiding among all of those negative wounding thoughts. And you get to repair yourself, and you get to come out triumphant with your truth. So this is a very mentally triumphant year for you, which is wonderful because, Gemini, you are an air sign ruled by your thoughts. So this is going to be a year where I think you get back into the power of your mind and how you think. And that in turn is going to lead into a whole new, larger life cycle moving forward. The Devil coming in is beautiful because this is the underlying energy. This is going to be where you get to see where you've been holding yourself back. Now, the Devil can be in any capacity where you've been holding yourself back, whether it's just truly mental, it's the thoughts you think, or whether this is your tie to someone or something in your external environment. But either way, it's where you have been holding yourself back, not where someone else has been holding yourself back. It's where you've been holding yourself. So now we're going to jump in, and I'm going to pull some clarifiers. Okay, so let's see here, Gemini. We're going to pull some cards here for the world. So we're seeing what happened in this last cycle. What's coming to an end? Okay, we have the Eight of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and Temperance. There's been a lot of fast movement for you guys. The Eight of Swords, or the Eight of Wands, is where there's lots of stuff going on. There's a lot of change. For some of you, you may have moved. You may have, could even be that maybe you were in a lot of communication with somebody that then pushed a lot of movement forward. But with the Nine of Swords, there was a lot of worry around this. It could have been stressful. And with Temperance coming in, it's saying, okay, there's a balancing out now. You've been able to balance these two, I think, between doing a lot of work and moving really fast and the mental worry that you've been kind of wrestling with. And Temperance comes in, beautiful energies, angelic energy. It's the number 14, and it speaks to freedom through change. And Temperance is saying it's time to bring your kind of whole experience into balance, that we can't be just moving, and we also just can't be in our minds constantly worrying. So it's time to bring those two into a place of equilibrium, into a place of moderation, because that's really what Temperance speaks to. And I think that's what many of you have learned, that this last cycle was all about learning, kind of seeing what the negative thought patterns can bring, and how to handle when things change, when things happen really quickly. And it's a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful lesson to learn that, again, we don't have to sit there in a place of continual worry. We don't have to kind of be haunted by the ghosts of the what ifs at night. And Temperance comes in and says, okay, you get to free yourself from this through bringing those two things into moderation, bringing your emotions and your thoughts and where you take action all together. And now you get to really transcend in a mental place to get out of the place of worry and back into a strong clarity of self, because that's what the Four of Swords speaks to, getting back to that clarity on who you are. Now I'm actually going to pull from the underlying energy of the Devil. Let's see, where have you been holding yourself back? Or what might be a theme around that? Oh, there's the Six of Swords again. So yeah, you've been holding yourself back from just moving on from something. This might just need to be that it's time to move on from, again, a limiting mindset, that you're not good enough, that you can't do this, that you can't make that change. And this says, yes, you can. So I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. This is the year of yes, you can. Yes, you can close that door. And yes, you can open a new door to a wealth of possibilities and a heightened clarity of self. Beautiful. All right. Have a wonderful new year ahead, Gemini. All right. So hello to all of my Cancers. Cancer, I'm going to be pulling a 3-card spread here. We're going to be taking a look. The first card is going to be what Spirit is asking you to release over this weekend as we move into the Lunar New Year. And then we are going to look at what Spirit is asking you to embrace, and then the overall theme for the year ahead. And then I'll pull clarifiers if I feel the need to. So let's go ahead here. So we have Justice as your release point. And Justice is a card that speaks to fairness, it speaks to balance. It can even speak to legal matters, things like the signing of, the making or breaking of a contract. Ooh, and what you're being asked to embrace, that King of Wands, your inner fire. I like that. Okay, and let's go ahead and see for what is the overarching theme for the year ahead for 2023. Ooh, 8 of Wands. Yeah, movement. And at the bottom of the deck, we have a Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, okay. This is an interesting spread. Cancer, I like it. So Justice. This is balance. This is fairness. This is getting to that place of equilibrium. And I think for many of you, you've been probably working towards that. This could also be specifically speaking to the release of a contract. This could be a divorce. This could be the breaking of a contract with your workplace. This could be the breaking of a contract with where you live. This could be the selling of your house, moving to a new location. But there's something here around, because this is a point in releasing, it's one of two things. It's releasing you from a contract, from something that you are currently in. So again, whether this is a contract in love, a contract in work, a contract in your home situation, or it could simply be that something has balanced out now, that you've been working towards getting to that level of equilibrium, and it's time for that to be released. Because the focus as you move into 2023 is stepping into your full fiery power. The King of Wands is the individual who is like the Elon Musk, the Oprah Winfrey, pick your favorite, famous person, because that's what the King of Wands is someone who lives and leads from their personal place of passion. Theme for the year, Eight of Wands, fast movement. It can be growth. It can be a lot of communication as well. You could be communicating with a lot of people. And the Wheel of Fortune says that there is going to be something here this year that is going to be a destiny point. Now, what do I mean by a destiny point? This is something where there are moments in our life that come through like this, and this can almost be like a portal with the Eight of Wands coming through. This is like the gateway where we have that moment to kind of step up into a part of our destiny. But we have, through free will, we can either choose to do that or we can choose to shy away from it. So really keep that in mind for meditating on that this weekend. But also throughout the year, where perhaps, keep an eye out for where perhaps something is coming in as you're moving through this really quick moving energy. This is a year that might feel a little chaotic, or it might feel a little like, woo, I'm being asked to do a lot. But it's saying this is all to set you up for you to step up into this energy of being this very fiery, passionate leader. So keep that in mind. You may be called to lead in some aspect, and there is a destiny point that could open the door to a major growth cycle for yourself. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to pull a few clarifiers here. So for justice, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And that says you've been working diligently at something. For many of you, it has to do with a foundation. This could be a marriage. That's what the Four of Wands can speak to with the Magician coming in. But you've been very diligently working on it. You perfected something. This can be the art of getting really good at building. You've laid a really strong foundation for the home, or you've laid a really strong foundation in the work that you do. And now it's time. It's saying, yeah, you've mastered something. You've mastered something and you've laid a strong foundation. But now, and that has balanced itself out. And this could be, again, where, you did sign a marriage contract. Okay. But now where do we go from here? So wherever you feel like you have kind of been diligently working on something, it's saying, okay, you've put in the work, and now the balancing out has come. Basically, I get the feeling from many of you, your ships have come in. Where you put in the work or where you did not put in the work, now you have reaped the benefit or not. So keep that in mind too. If you feel like you're like, where I've been doing a ton of stuff, and yet I haven't seen the reward. Well, this could mean that maybe perhaps it's time to release that in general. But what I'm seeing here is a clear progression of someone who has every right to step up into a king type energy because they've been very vigilantly working towards something. Okay, so now I'm going to see, I'm actually not going to pull for the King of Wands. I'm going to pull for the Eight of Wands, because I'm seeing it as the portal, as like there might be this moment where in this year it's like, whoa, all this stuff is happening, and it could be like almost feel chaotic, like you're being pushed through this like wormhole of a door that's going to slingshot you somewhere, and yet that's going to be exactly where you need to be, and you kind of just need to go with the flow, but you need to bring your wand to that. Okay, so we have the Nine of Cups, which is interesting. I think Taurus had that in the same placement. It's bringing in a heart's wish for yourself there. Oh, and Justice, here we go. Okay, so this is the return on the investment, a heart's wish. And yeah, it may feel really this is kind of like where you've been slow and steady at working at something and you're like, okay, here I am, I'm perfecting it, I'm saving, or I'm getting the skill set, I'm doing one little thing at a time, and then suddenly it's like, okay, here's the contract to level up. Or I've been saving to buy a home, and it's like, okay, here's the home, here it is, return on your investment, but you have to buy now. It's going to be one of those things where it's like you're going to have the choice to step up and say, okay, let's do it, I'm leading the charge. Or you have the opportunity, as we all do with free will, to say, no, it's too scary. I'm not ready for the wormhole yet. And which, it's fair. Everybody's in a different place. So you will have to make that decision for yourself. But you're being urged. You're being urged to step up into this leadership position, lead the charge. And when this heart's wish gets to come in with a contract, be ready to say yes. Okay, I'll leave it there. What a fun reading, Cancer. I hope you have a wonderful 2023 ahead and have a great weekend as well. Okay, hi all of my Leos as I clean up the cards here. I'm going to be pulling a 3-card spread where we are going to be taking a look at what is coming in for you. So we're going to be looking first at what Spirit's going to be asking you to release during this new moon. Then what Spirit's asking you to embrace as we move into 2023. And then the overarching theme for the year. And then we'll look at any clarifiers if I feel there is a need to do so. So for what you need to release, we have the Hanged Man. Okay. What does Leo need? So the Hanged Man speaks to a perspective change, and a major one at that. This is where you get to kind of see your life in a whole new perspective. And it may have felt that maybe for some of you that your life was kind of standing still. This can be where we are kind of forced to stop by Spirit, which comes in through our circumstances, and we're forced to kind of stay there until we see that new perspective. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles at the heart of your reading, which you're being asked to embrace. And then we have your overall theme for the year, which is the 8 of Swords, and then the Moon, as your underlying theme. Okay, so Leo, there has been a major perspective shift in your life, and Spirit has kind of kept you waiting for that moment of that kind of aha, of like, whoa, I needed to go through that, or I needed to experience that so that I could come forward with this perspective change. But now it's time to, okay, this is stating that perspective shift has come in. You have seen something in a new light, and now you're ready to move forward. So what you're being asked to embrace is your King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles energy is wonderful. It shows that you have mastered a skill set and being able to really harness the energy of the physical, meaning you are able to know how to save, you know how to invest, you know the worth of your time and energy, you know how to invest it wisely. And you're being asked to really step up into the kind of kingly element of this, because the kings are responsible. They're the ones who kind of lead from that place of let's do it fiscally responsibly. Let's, put this much time and energy towards it because this will get the most return on our investment. There's that kind of energy coming through. So it's a very positive energy. And maybe for some of you, it was really this forced perspective allowed you to really see your own ability to step up into this, or to see where this can be applied in your life, because this could be a business owner as well. This could be an individual. Again, it's almost like maybe for some of you, you needed to see what your time and energy was worth. There's an element of value coming in here. What am I worth? And how can I translate that into utilizing that worth in my physical experience? Now, the 8 of Swords, the theme. This is going to be a whole year where you get to see where you are holding yourself back. You get to see that the mental programming that you've kind of set up for yourself, where you think you're tied up like this inside. I can't see a way forward. I don't think I can do that. I don't see how I could save that much money. I don't see how I could increase the rate for my, let's say you're a business owner and you need to maybe make more money and you need to up your rates, but you don't see how you can do that without driving away business. It's those kinds of things that the Eight of Swords speaks to. And yet it's where we realize we ourselves have been holding ourselves back, that we are the ones who are kind of setting ourselves up for failure because we're telling ourselves, well, I need more money, but I can't do anything about it. Or I need to change jobs, but I can't do anything about that. And this is saying, yes, you absolutely can. It's just about changing your thought process. So the moon is a card where it's kind of like the lack of clarity. It's saying that there's not going to be that kind of, there's going to be a little bit of this throughout the year, the underlying energy of, well, where are we going with this? What is not actually being illuminated for us to see? And can I walk this path on faith? That is what the moon card speaks to. Can I walk this path on faith? Now that I have this new perspective, now that I know what my time and energy is worth, and I know how to apply it in my experience, where can I free myself from limiting beliefs to just go towards something? That's really what I'm feeling here, is that you want to go towards something. There has been something, again, this change in perspective. But this is going to be that year where you really get to face yourself on that mental level of where do I keep telling myself I can't do something? Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles for the Hangman. Yeah, there's a change in perspective, I think, on your self-value, on your self-worth. And now it's time to release possibly an old version of yourself where you didn't really, that can be where you realize, wow, I was never charging enough for my services. I was always giving them away for free. Or, wow, I never realized my time was worth so much. And I constantly just allowed myself to be kind of used by other people. And now I'm going to, make sure that I invest my energy more wisely. But there's a past version of yourself where you did not value yourself. That's time to be released. And now you really get to step up into owning your value and translating that into the physical. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull for the King of Pentacles, and then we'll pull for the Eight of Swords. I'm hearing, what if? There's this feeling that comes with that for me, where it's like almost like you're being asked to say, well, what if it was possible? What if I could charge that much money? What if I could do that for a living? What if I could? Oh, yeah. Eight of Wands, the Tower. Three of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Beautiful. This is fast-moving energy that broke something free. The Tower is when our whole life changes. And and it can feel chaotic. The Tower can feel like all these things are being taken away from me. And yet it's liberating you for what's to come. That's the Three of Wands. What your ships are coming in, what's to come. And what's to come is going to lead to the Ten of Pentacles. This is a lot of wealth, a lot of physical abundance. So that's really why I think for some of you, there's really needs to be this call to stepping into the King of Pentacles energy so that you can really own your self-worth. That whatever is to come in here, whatever's been removed has freed you to make use of an opportunity here, the Three of Wands, whatever is coming in that is going to lead to this physical abundance. But you have to know your worth. You have to be able to understand that when that whatever comes in, that you can grow it. The King of Pentacles is a master at manipulating his physical environment. And keep that in mind as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the Eight of Swords. King of Cups. Yeah, I think some of you have actually, interestingly enough, you've been disconnected from your emotions. that I think for some of you, because the King of Cups is someone who is very connected to his emotions. He understands the importance of leading from that place. It could also be that you're being held back by a Scorpio in your life. That's kind of keeping you in a mental space, in a negative mental space, because the King of Cups speaks to Scorpionic energy. But I really feel like for many of you, it's okay. Yes, we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. Yeah, I think for some of you, there was a disappointment. Emotionally, there was something that was disappointing. You worked really hard towards something and it wasn't received well, or it again just didn't end in the way that you wanted. And so you've kind of cut yourself off from really leaning into this leaning into love, leaning into being in an emotional place that's healthy and mature. So this is saying you might be holding yourself back because of a past mistake, a past issue where, again, you were working towards something and it didn't work out in the way that you wanted. And so you didn't allow yourself to really step into that energy of just loving yourself or really honoring your emotions. So this is going to be the key to unlocking your mental space, is honoring your emotions and getting past, whatever didn't work out exactly here with what you were working towards. It's coming back full circle for you to be able to really make use of it here. Wonderful, positive this is abundance. This is like physical abundance to the max right here, Leo. So you have the opportunity. The way may be unclear, and you're being asked, what if it was possible? What if it was possible? Can you walk this path on faith? And that's going to be what this Three of Wands is. Can you walk this path on faith and know that it will lead to this abundance? Beautiful. Own your worth, Leo. All right. I hope all of you have a wonderful new year ahead. Bye, Leos. All right. Hello, Virgos. So I'm going to be jumping right into your reading here. Now, in this reading, we're going to be pulling 3 cards where we're going to be taking a look at what Spirit is asking you to release during this new moon, what Spirit is asking you to embrace as you step boldly into 2023, and the theme for the year. And then I'll pull clarifiers if I feel they are needed. So let's go ahead here, Virgo, and see what is Spirit asking you to release. 9 of Swords. Yeah, you're being asked to let go of the worry. Let go of that mental clutter of all the negative what ifs. And what are you being asked to embrace? Ooh, the moon. I love it. Now that can be a little scary because the moon is where the way is unclear. It's a lack of clarity, but it's also where we're being asked, can you walk this path on faith? And I love it. It's where you also get very close and in touch with your intuition. Okay, so, and there's your intuition. So we have the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess here as the main theme for 2023. So yeah, that makes sense. Where have you not allowed your intuition to guide you? Ooh, and we have the Knight of Wands at the bottom. Yeah, go out and do what feels good, Virgo. All right, so we're going to start here with just intuitive messages, and then I'll pull some clarifiers. So 9 of Swords, yeah, you're being asked to release the worry. This is just those thoughts that keep us up at night, that what if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? What if that kind of thinking. And it says, nope, it's time to release that. It's time to get into a place of deep connection to you and the calling. I love that it shows the 2 wolves here kind of being called to howl at the moon. You're being asked, can you walk a path on faith? And can you do so from a deep connection to your intuition to know where you're being called to go? Now, the Queen of Swords the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess here, this is the energy of really getting clear as to what is your personal story. What are the things you've gone through and how do you share that with others? But also now when you look back, seeing where perhaps you didn't follow your intuition, where you didn't do what you knew you should. And now how can you integrate that into your current experience? How can you learn to trust yourself, your inner knowing? Knight of Wands, beautiful energy. Go out there and do what feels good. If you want to go on that trip, you go on that trip. If you want to go to that concert, you go to that concert. If you want to start painting again, you start painting again. But it's time to get back to the beat of your own drum. That's what I'm hearing there. It's time to get back to marching to the beat of your own drum. Okay. 9 of Swords. So let's go ahead and see what's attached to this worry. So what is Virgo being asked to release? What is Virgo being asked to release? Yeah, I mean, this is just moving on. You've been worried about something that you've needed to move on from for a long time, and now it's saying it's time to move. It's time to just move on. That's a very clear message there. Okay, and this is all in a mental space. So you could have been thinking about something over and over and over again. You know, this could be about thinking about. I know I need to leave a job, but I just keep thinking about it and not doing anything about it. Or I know I need to leave a relationship behind, and you keep thinking about it and worrying about it. This is saying it's just time to move on, and stop the worry over it. This is, again, over analyzing. The sun and the moon. I love it. That's, right here, which is kind of interesting because this really speaks to the new moon right now. I think for many of you, in learning to trust your intuition, there's going to be something illuminated about your current experience that you have not been seeing. So when you're being asked to embrace your intuition, embrace the feeling that you're feeling called towards, that's going to illuminate the way forward for you. So it's not going to feel so much as like a lack of clarity. It's going to be more of, wow, I haven't been following what I've wanted to do. And suddenly you're going to see something about your experience that's going to be, again, very illuminating for you. We'll bring you back into the sunlight here. So I'm going to pull for the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess. Let's see for the theme. Really looking at where maybe, again, you didn't follow your inner knowing. This is kind of like the Queen of Swords has become kind of like the life review card for me at this period right now, which is interesting. So I think many of you are just sitting in that energy, and this year will be a year where I think you're going to get very clear on that. Okay, so we have the Devil, the 7 of Wands, and the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, I think for many of you, you've been holding yourself back from enjoying physical abundance, from enjoying the fruits of your labor, because you've been defending whatever has been holding you back here. That's what defending the devil. You're defending. This is like saying, no, I have to stay in this bad relationship, even though it makes me so miserable and I can't enjoy like the wonderful home life that I've provided for myself, or whatever it is that's been holding you back here. You've been long trying to defend it, and it's been robbing you of your ability to just enjoy the beautiful abundance you have in your life right now. So really lean in to looking at what you need to move on from, where you've been hyper-focused, where you've been over-analyzing, and it's time to just let it go. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. This is a very clear, concise message. The way will be revealed when you just start to embrace the unknown, when you start to embrace your internal calling. What are you right now, if you just said, what would feel good for you, and where are you being called to go? And you're like, I don't know. I for some reason, I keep feeling like I need to book a trip to Italy. Trust that hunch and just go. Just do it. Just do it. That's going to be the theme. Again, the theme for 2023, march to the beat of your own drum. And where does that beat come from? It comes from inside. It comes from your direct connection to yourself. What do you want your story to be? Okay, I will leave it there. Have a wonderful new year ahead. Have a great weekend too. Really enjoy the blessings of this new moon and this fresh start that we're all getting collectively. Bye, Virgo. All right. Hi, Libra. I hope you've all been enjoying a good start to your 2023. We're going to be taking a look here at a 3-card spread. So the first card here we're going to be pulling is going to be taking a look at what Spirit is asking you to embrace. I'm sorry, what Spirit is asking you to release during this new moon. Oh, the Hanged Man. Oh, interesting. I think Leo got that in the same position. So Libra, you're being asked to release the Hanged Man, a change in perspective. What you're being asked to embrace. Ooh, Page of Swords, Three of Wands, and Page of Cups. Okay, we'll get into that. And then let's take a look at the overarching theme for 2023 for you. Two of Wands. Yeah. A new path for your life here. Okay, Seven of Cups is the underlying energy. All right, so the Hanged Man, what you're being asked to release. This is where we have been kind of forced to stop and take a look. It's where we've gone through an experience, or we've been forced to kind of be at a pause, a standstill in our life, so that we could see something from a new perspective. And this is saying you've gone through that, whatever this was, whether this was, a health crisis, whether this was again, just a forced pause in your life where you felt like there was no forward progression. And it was allowing you to be able to come into some beautiful place of kind of almost like clairvoyance, where suddenly you were like, oh, aha, I see it now. And you're being asked to release that. You've gone through that process. So hooray, give yourself a big clap. But what you're being asked to embrace now, this is really interesting. We have the Three of Wands sandwiched between two pages. So the Three of Wands is the energy of your ships are coming in. There's an opportunity that wants to come in, or opportunities that want to come in for you in 2023. But you're being asked to sandwich this with getting prepared. I feel like that is for you guys, getting prepared. The Page of Swords is someone who is gaining more information. They are doing the research. They are also looking to see the context of how their truth kind of fits into their everyday experience. And then we have the Page of Cups, which is the beautiful feeling of getting back in touch with your inner child. It's really getting back in touch with that kind of purest essence of who you are. What do you need to have fulfilled in your life just to make you feel like you are emotionally connected, that makes you feel like you can dream again? That's what this card always represents to me, that kind of inner child, the inner dreamer, and getting back to that place where you allow that part of yourself to be open and expressed. Now, the general theme for 2023 is going to be one of decision making. The Two of Wands is, where do I go from here? It's charting a new path. And I think for many of you, that new path started with this change in perspective. Now, the Seven of Cups is the underlying energy. The Seven of Cups is one where there can seem like there's a lot of options for emotional fulfillment, that we are kind of looking at this going, well, is it this one? Or what if, is this my cup? Is that my cup? Is this my cup? And I think it can be a card for it truly is. It's just a lot of opportunity. And that could be what this Three of Wands is bringing towards you. But it can also be one where there's a feeling of illusion, where we are not clear as to, where we kind of lose sight of our own cup, which the Page of Cups holds. We lose sight of the fact that fulfillment has to come from within. It can't come from without. But in a positive sense, this can say that suddenly in getting re-engaged with your inner child, getting re-engaged with your cup in a kind of innocent and pure way, you're realizing, oh my gosh, I feel that emotional connection again, and there's so many places that I can bring that to. There's so many ways I can emotionally connect to my life again through that. So it can be a very positive card as well. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. Hold on just a sec. I just want to grab a card that fell off the table. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead here and see what's going on with the Hanged Man. So what does Libra need to know about the Hanged Man? Three of Swords, Two of Swords, and yeah, you guys needed to see that there's almost like this kind of, I think, indecision point here between past pain and building towards the new. And I think many of you were probably paused in that building. You were like, I don't know what I want to build. I don't seem to be getting a foothold anywhere. And it was because you had to release the attachment to past pain. to a heartache, to something that happened here, and you needed to be able to see it in a new perspective so that you could release it. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to pull for the Three of Wands. Let's take a look at, actually, I'm just going to pull for these three cards, the energy together. So let's see, what does Libra need to know about what they're being asked to embrace? I get the feeling of just embracing curiosity, being curious about, gosh, what's going to come in for me? And let's see, Queen of Wands, and the Six of Cups. For some of you, there could be a Aries coming back into your life. This can sometimes be a card of someone from the past coming back in. The Queen of Wands harnesses the energy of Aries. Or it could just be someone from the past who embraces or embodies that fiery, kind of almost like witch-like magic to themselves. They're a highly charismatic, attractive person. They attract people to them. So that could be that there's an individual who are coming back into your life, and you're going to be asked to engage with them. Or this could literally be getting back in touch with your own inner kind of spark and magic, where the Six of Cups is going back to some place in your life that you emotionally connect to, that kind of innocent, pure version of yourself. And you get to get back in touch with either a hope or dream or a talent that you lost touch with, and you get to bring that forward now. And I think this can also be making peace with the past. This can be kind of looking back at your past, and maybe you kind of always looked back at it in a negative light, or maybe with rose-colored glasses, but now you get to say, you know what, I see the gift in that experience. And in seeing the gift in that experience, you get to step back up into your own magic. This is the fiery, kind of fire-branded individual who's going to go out there, and she's just going to attract the right people to her. She's going to go out there, and if she wants to make it happen, she's going to make it happen. So one of two things: either someone's coming back into your life from the past, and it's going to be an opportunity for something, or it's going to be that you've made peace with your past, which is freeing you to embrace this energy so that you can really, when that opportunity comes in, you get to carry your torch, your wand, and you get to be out there, kind of lighting the flame to guide this towards you. Because again, the Queen of Wands is a highly attractive energy. And I don't mean just like physically, like she looks attractive. It's that she attracts others to her through living her life from a place of passion. Okay, let's take a look at the Two of Wands. What is this decision that needs to be made? Or this big kind of change of direction in your life? What does Libra need to know about the Two of Wands? Ooh, King of Cups, knowing your self-worth. This is going to be a time where you are getting into a place where you can, I'm just hearing self-worth. You're choosing a new path that highlights the reconnection to the value you bring. Anything else? And I think for some of you, you've, because of, that's a little too many cards, because of the wounding here, you aren't allowing yourself to really recognize your full value and really utilize that to your benefit. Oh, and I love it. So this is a card that's unique to this deck. It's a kind of like a heightened it brings in a heightened energy of the Lover's card, but it speaks really to that kind of losing ourself in that idealized feeling of love. And yeah, I get a really clear sense many of you are going to be kind of falling back in love with life. You're going to be honoring your value, and for many of you, this might actually bring in, if you are single, someone who is going to value you and bring in a lot of abundance for yourself through a romantic partnership. You're choosing love. So if you have the opportunity, wherever that comes in, choose love, and that's going to be It could be that your life kind of either has a fork, or this is just a kind of major redirection for some of you with this change in perspective. And that change in perspective might be towards what you love and who you love, and stepping into the energy of but honoring your worth in that relationship. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Libra. This looks like a very positive, forward-moving, possibly very fiery start to the new year. I love it. And a year that's going to lead you in a direction towards abundance, the realization of your value, your worth in the physical, but also that's going to, I think, bring in a beautiful partnership or a reconnection to a partnership in your life. And I really like that. Okay, so I will say happy 2023 to all of you Libras, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend with this new moon. All right, bye. Okay, so hi all my Scorpios. I hope you guys have all had a wonderful January thus far. I'm going to go ahead and pull 3 cards here. We're going to pull, first card is going to be for what Spirit is asking you to release during this new moon. Then we're going to look at what Spirit is asking you to embrace. Okay. So we have 7 of Cups and what you're releasing. So you're releasing the illusion that, I'll dive into that in just a second. Let me pull the cards here first. So what you're being asked to embrace, the Fool and 10 of Wands. Okay, love it. Freedom is what I'm hearing. And the overarching theme for the year is the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. And the underlying energy is the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. Beautiful. 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is what you're being asked to release. This is the energy of, that might be fulfilling. That might make me happy. Maybe this option is better. And this is saying, no, that fog of indecision, that fog of trying to find something outside of yourself to make you feel a level of emotional connection is done, because there's a major restart happening here. What you're being asked to embrace, the Fool. This is the 0 point field. This is the slate has been wiped clean, and you are going out on a whole new cycle, a whole new you, and you're being asked to just dive in head first. Don't even look, because Spirit has got your back. 10 of Wands, the release of carrying a major burden that you've been probably carrying for some time. The 10 of Wands doesn't just come up out of the blue. This is where one wand gets piled on after another, and before you know it, you have 10 wands, and a lot of times it happens where we don't even realize we've been carrying all of this. And when we finally just get to put it down, it's like, oh my God, I'm free. I didn't realize I had an extra 150 pounds of weight on my shoulders that came from me just bearing the burden of something for a long time. And whatever that is to you, you've been able to put it down. And there's this beautiful fresh start, and it's going to allow you, because this year for you is a building year. The 7 of Pentacles is a year where you get to reevaluate everything in your physical experience, and you get to see where you want to start to invest more time, energy, and money towards something to really start to make it grow. This is the leveling up. The 2 of Pentacles is your underlying energy. This is saying your focus is really going to be on your day-to-day. Where do you choose to prioritize your time, your energy, your money, and making the decision to be very, I would say, cognizant but present and aware every day as to, again, where you're putting your time and your energy, and learning that it's in those little things that when we are present and we are aware, that's where we start to really gain that emotional connection that I think many of you have been kind of felt that you were separated from. And the emotional connection comes first from being very present and aware in our day-to-day moments. What brings us joy? What do we choose to do, and why? And this is going to be a major question that comes through this year, is why are you choosing to put time and energy towards this? Because there's something now that you are going to be asked to say, this is what you want to grow. But it's going to come again from letting go of a major burden you've carried for some time, and just embracing this whole new cycle. There's going to be this whole kind of, I think, very freeing energy in 2023 for many of you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to I don't think the Seven of Cups needs any explanation. That's just, again, being in a place where you've been looking outside of yourself and have been unable to make a decision because you weren't happy, but you didn't know where to find happiness. And just like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz found out, the road with that type of questioning always leads back home to us. Fulfillment comes from within first, from knowing what we love to do, from knowing what needs we need to have met in our life to make us feel emotionally connected and fulfilled. And then comes the feelings of happiness and joy. We don't chase happiness and joy. We chase fulfilling our needs and following our dreams. And then happiness and joy just naturally follow suit. So let's take a look at the Fool. What does Scorpio need to know about the Fool? The Fool and the Ten of Wands. What is this major burden they're just finally putting down? Oh, sorry guys, it fell on the floor. We have the Six of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I think for many of you, you're realizing there was an imbalance that is now being balanced, that maybe you had been working for a long time without getting the right amount of pay, or you've been in a relationship where someone was taking from you, something along those lines where it's been balanced. You know, you're coming into a period where you will get back what you put in. And there's also this beautiful leveling up with the King of Pentacles of realizing your self-value. So if you're going to be starting a new cycle, it's really good to get clear as to who you are, what you're worth, and how you can apply that now when you are unburdened. All right. I'm going to take a look at the Seven of Pentacles. This review of where you want to invest your time and energy, what you want to build, and start really putting energy towards. Ooh, here's a huge story here. We've got the Fool. So here's the Fool, the starting point, which is going to bring in an opportunity for self-love. And something here with the Wheel of Fortune is going to bring in, I like that. So there's an opportunity here to really get back to, there's an opportunity here to manifest something for yourself that maybe you wanted when you were a child, or that there's this like reconnection to your cup that it's almost like, to me, this has been the wish dream. I mean, the wish dream, I wish I could have this dream fulfilled. It's like that little kid saying, oh, if I could do that, that would be my dream. There's something here around, there could be a chance to reconnect with a dream from the past, something that you kind of emotionally forgot about, that was kind of left in your cup, and you're like, oh, if I could only have that. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, this is the fresh start towards making that dream, turning the wheel in your favor. But again, a fresh start, taking what comes in, brings a self-love, a remembrance of the value of your cup, and that cup holds all the needs, dreams, and hopes you need to have fulfilled to feel emotionally connected. But there's something here at the Wheel of Fortune that says there is a point where if you can really get clear as to where you want to invest your time and energy and money and what that's worth to you, you get a chance at a dream. Beautiful, beautiful energy, Scorpio. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and you sit and enjoy the new moon. And I hope that you all have a lovely new year ahead. All right. Bye, Scorpio. Okay, so now we are going to jump into who's next. We have Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. I hope you've all had a wonderful January so far. And we're going to be taking a look here at a 3-card spread. We're going to be looking at first what you're being asked to release. And then we're going to be looking at what you're going to be asked to embrace. And then the year, and then the major theme for the year for 2023. So what does Sagittarius need to know about what they are to embrace? Ooh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, this can be a powerful new moon for you guys. So let's see, what's the overarching theme for the year for you? What's the overarching theme? Okay, 8 of Cups. Yeah, all right. You get a chance to walk away from something. And we have the Devil at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a big point of release here for many of you, Sagittarius. So it's interesting that you're being asked to release the Star. Now, the Star is a highly positive card. It is one where we get to see that kind of major guiding hope, dream, wish for ourselves, and we get back in touch with it, and we use it as our guiding light. For some of you, there may need to be the release of a dream. And it could be because that dream is, and I hate to say it in this way, but it's either unrealistic or it's actually not going to serve your highest potential, your highest purpose in this world. So it can be that, like, maybe we have that dream of really, really wanting to be famous. And it could be that we so focus on that, but we aren't focused on, like, we're so focused on being seen outwardly by others, but yet it's not allowing us to maybe connect in the present moment with individuals that are going to lead us on a better path. You know, there's ways that sometimes we can get too tied to a dream or too tied to a dream manifesting in a specific way. And this is saying, if you can release that and get into your heart space, because the 9 of Cups is going to be, this is what you're being asked to embrace, is taking a look at all that you're grateful for, but it's also getting to that place of making that final heart's wish for the 10 of Cups, getting very clear as to what is that one little emotional piece that's missing that would make this whole experience suddenly manifest into like a little piece of heaven on earth. But you have to get clear first on what's emotionally missing, on what you have emotional abundance to be grateful for, but also what is that one piece that is emotionally missing, because that's what's going to be the guiding principle as to what you have to walk away from. There's something here with the 8 of Cups where you have invested a lot of emotional time and energy into, and it's just not fulfilling. It's not reaping the benefits that you were hoping. And so the individual leaves the 8 of Cups behind to walk towards the 9 of Cups and ultimately towards the 10 of Cups. Now, the Devil here at the underlying energy is showing where it's going to be. This year's going to highlight where you've been holding yourself back. That's what the Devil speaks to. It's those habits. It's the people. It's the I can't mental, programming. But there's something here that you've been, kind of holding yourself back through or by. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. Let's take a look at the Star. What is it about this Star that you need to release? And I really am feeling that this is about being too tied to having a dream manifest in a specific way. That there might be another way for this dream to come in, but you're kind of blocking yourself from that. This can also be when we're looking too much at our dream and we're not actually present in our everyday experience, where we're not emotionally connected because we're like, oh, I wish that would happen. And when that happens, then I will be happy. And it's saying, no, you have to get back into being happy here on earth now. Okay, so we have Judgment. Yeah, there's been a major change in your life and who you are. And I think for some of you, the dream has changed. That's what this is. The dream has changed. And for some of you, I don't think you've even realized that yet. Okay. I'm going to pull for the 9 of Cups because that's pretty clear here. Okay, well, here we got the story. So here's the 8 of Cups. Now the story behind that: Justice, the King of Cups, the Knight of Wands, Strength, and the 8 of Cups. Okay, for some of you, this could be the strength of walking away from an unfulfilling marriage or something, because the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands, this is the energy. So the Knight of Wands is you. That's Sagittarius. The King of Cups is a highly emotional individual. This harnesses the energy of Scorpio. So that could be, this is kind of what I'm looking at with Justice. This is a contract between you and a highly emotional individual, a deeply emotional individual, but there's a strength now in some capacity where it's time to walk away. Now, this could be, in your love life. This could be in your work life. This could be this could even be a friendship. It could be a family member, but there's some interaction between you, this kind of freedom loving individual, and someone who is, again, just a very deeply emotional individual. And there is a contract here. There's justice. There's a contract going on here. And this is saying it's time that if you really got into your heart of hearts and kind of weighed up everything, what's missing in this relationship? And can you make a wish for it? Is there something maybe that the two of you need to do something together? Maybe it's time for you to express this wish and the new dream will emerge for you. So let's take a look at what you're actually walking away from here. I mean, this could even be maybe where you are expressing to the individual that you're with that you know, maybe there is no, maybe you want to be connected to this individual. Maybe it's like you've been in a relationship for a long time and you want to be engaged, you want to get married. And so it's actually having the strength to express that to the individual, to say, you know, I really want this relationship. I want it to work, but it's not fulfilling. It's not enough for me just to be together. I need to have this extra level of commitment. And that could be also, you know, again, between you and a coworker, a business partner. This could be the same thing with you and a family member. Okay, that's a little too many. But the Eight of Cups, the Tower, yeah, it's a major change. This is your whole way of life may change. This is letting that tower crumble. This could say, you know what, I can't live here anymore, and we need to move into a new house. We need to move to a new location. And you have the strength to tell the other person that, to say, let's move, let's sell the house and write a contract on a new house. Because that's what justice can speak to. It can speak to the making and breaking of contracts. Okay. But the Eight of Cups, when you choose to finally express what is not emotionally satisfying in your life, that's what will free you. The Tower comes in to free us from the devil. So I think that's what's going to show you, free you from the burden you've been carrying for a long time. And I think maybe some of you have not even realized that you've been carrying this burden, and it's time to release it. It's time to put those down. You've carried it long enough, and it's been holding you back from emotionally connecting and feeling fulfilled in your life. And it's time to communicate that to an individual in your life, whoever this King of Cups is. It's time to really get clear, have the courage, strength to speak to something that is not fulfilling in your experience, and what you want to move towards, and where you want to make a commitment towards doing that. You know, I want to commit to this new dream. I want to commit to this new, I am a new person. and now that I am this new person, there is something that I've realized that maybe I had wanted to put time and energy towards, and it now, as the new version of myself, it's not fulfilling anymore, and something has to change. So this is going to be a year of change, but it's a year of ultimately freeing yourself and putting down a major burden. So you just have to have the courage to express to this other individual, I think what this is for yourself. All right. I will leave it there. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend with the new moon, and you look forward to being freed this year, and really leaning into that new dream, the heart's dream. Okay, bye Sagittarius. All right, Capricorn, last but definitely not least, we're going to go ahead here, and I'm going to pull a 3-card spread for this new moon. We're going to take a look. First card is going to be where we are being asked to release something in our experience. Second card is where we're being asked to embrace. And then we will look at the overarching theme for 2023 for you guys. So we have the Two of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. Ooh, I love that for what you are being asked to embrace. Let's take a look at the overarching theme. And, ooh, the Queen of Cups. Yeah. Getting back in touch with love for yourself. And the Empress. Beautiful. Wow. Abundance, creativity. There's a lot coming in for you guys. So the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is that kind of point that we get to multiple times in our life where we're kind of asked to reflect, take a look forward and say, well, where do we go from here? It's time to make a choice for a new direction. And you're being asked to release this. I think for many of you, you may have been sitting in this place either of indecision, or you just were kind of, maybe you've made the decision. The decision's been made. This is the way we're going. And it's now time to embrace the Knight of Wands. Do what feels good. Get prepared to kind of go into an adventure mode. That's really what this speaks to. Knight of Wands. Like, let's get back to getting to the beat of our own drum, and let's go out there and see what life holds for us. And then the Queen of Cups, the overarching theme, is a beautiful energy of getting back in touch with your emotions, getting back in touch with that nurturing, unconditional love for yourself, and really honoring the cup of what you need to have fulfilled. What are those dreams you have within yourself that you want to pursue, and honoring them, loving them, realizing, your deep connection to them. The Empress is a highly abundant energy. This is your underlying theme. It's one of creativity, and it's one of really being able to capitalize on creating abundance for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some clarifiers here. Let's take a look at this Two of Wands, the decision that you're being asked to kind of release. And who knows, maybe, again, it's time that in order for you to release it, it's time to make the decision. It's time to make the decision to start doing what feels good. It's time to embrace the adventure. That's, I think, the word for 2023 for you guys. Adventure and honoring your emotions. And following your emotions. That's kind of what the Queen of Cups can speak to as well. Yeah, love. Ace of Cups, a new connection to love. Beautiful. But it's also a reconnection to your cup. It's a reconnection to the hopes, the needs, the dreams, the unconditional love that the divine has for you. And it's making a choice to lead from that. From that my cup is overfloweth. It's having the cup is half full, and it's more than half full. It's literally never ending. It cannot be depleted because it is that full of love for you guys. So yeah, I think you've made a decision to follow what you love, but from a deeper place, and let's say like the Lovers card coming out, this is honoring what you're emotionally connected to, honoring just love in the highest possible sense. Okay, Knight of Wands, we have, oh, I love it, the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, nurturing something into existence in the physical. And that might be what you're pursuing. That might be what you want to do. Just really get into that kind of maternal, nurturing energy, which is beautiful. It's saying, yeah, you can go on an adventure and still nurture and love something into existence. That could be the next adventure. For some of you, that could be that you are, for some of you, you could be giving birth. I mean, this is Ace of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. There's definitely something there with the Empress. For some of you, this literally may be either someone in your life giving birth, or it could be actually maybe making that decision to become a parent. And it's highly supported for you guys. But this could also be giving birth to something too. It could be that you want to nurture into that part of the adventure is nurturing a new business into your life. I love it with, oh my gosh, for some of you, this is, home and family. And realizing that the adventure can include your home. It can include a new foundation. Can be like a marriage, a celebration. It could just be embracing the beauty of your home and really enjoying just the love and nurturing component that comes from being around family, from nurturing and growing your family. But there's a lot of adventure and excitement that comes from that. So this is a really interesting read here, Capricorn. It's almost like your family, or the people that you are, committed to here, are going to, there's going to be some fun and adventure. I really, really like that. So embrace that. Embrace what comes through. And so we have the Five of Pentacles there and the Page of Swords for the Queen of Cups. Yeah, getting clear on where you've kind of had this poverty mindset in the physical because you weren't honoring your cup, because you weren't loving yourself, because you weren't holding your needs and your dreams sacred, and where you lost sight of that through, I think, kind of chasing something in the physical, or clinging to something in the physical, or believing that somehow this is tied directly to the love you should have for yourself, that if you're not providing enough, if you're not somehow making something happen in the physical, that you're not enough, that you can't be loved, or you're not lovable. And this is saying, physical abundance starts from our cup and meeting our needs and understanding our dreams and holding those very precious. I'm going to actually see for the Empress too, because I just want to see. This is a very interesting last read here, very different from the other reads actually that I did. So Capricorn, I don't know what this is all about for you, but I do feel like it's a major change in perspective towards home and family. Major change in perspective. And somehow you're getting kind of back in touch. The Stella got her groove back here with through the home and family, and seeing it in a new way, and letting the kind of adventure come through there, instead of maybe constantly maybe looking for it outside of yourself. They have the Magician and the Empress. So I'm just going to put this right here. For any of you who want to create something, whether it is giving birth to a creative work, giving birth to an actual child, or giving birth to just a physical way of life, this is your year, Capricorn. Wow, you've got a lot going on here. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful new moon this weekend, and a wonderful new year ahead as well. All right, bye everyone.